This has undeniably been a great year for anime, and Mappa's Hell's Paradise really solidified that sentiment for me. Hell's Paradise is the third member of the Dark Trio, the other two being the immensely popular Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man. Both Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man are really good anime, but neither really fully clicked with me, as if both were missing something that could really push them over the finish line for me. In both cases, I think I just need a little bit more time with them to see how both stories develop, since not a lot happened in Chainsaw Man Season 1, and the characters didn't get much opportunity to develop in Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1. Before anyone says anything, I am watching Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, and I hope it will change my mind. But the point is that my mixed feelings towards these two anime caused me to have some trepidation when I decided to finally watch Hell's Paradise. From everything that I've gathered, Hell's Paradise seems to be the least popular of the Dark Trio, but I've got to be honest, I think it might be my favourite of the three. At least if we're only comparing the first season of Hell's Paradise against the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man. It certainly isn't perfect, and I do have some fairly big issues with the anime that I'll discuss shortly, but on the whole, I really liked Hell's Paradise. Definitely a lot more than I was expecting. Hell's Paradise is centred around our lead character, Gabimaru. Gabimaru was a fantastic lead in my opinion. Don't expect a character of Shakespearean levels, but do expect one with some level of substance to them. He's often referred to as Gabimaru the Hollow because he has no emotions and is a man made purely for killing, but as is made clear to us repeatedly, this couldn't be further from the truth. He's actually a kind person who has grown to despise murder. He has feelings and emotions, and he spends a lot of the anime wrestling between these two sides of himself. The raised killer, and the man who doesn't want to let his wife down. When we're introduced to Gabimaru, he is awaiting execution, but for whatever reason, he just can't be killed. After being confronted by an elite executioner, Sagiri, Gabimaru is given the opportunity to be pardoned of his crimes and reunited with his beloved wife. However, to receive that pardon, he must first travel to a very dangerous island alongside a bunch of other criminals and executioners to find the elixir of life for the Shogun, and this island is really dangerous. I don't know much about Buddhism or Taoism, but if you do, then you might get an extra kick out of this anime. The island is a combination of Buddhist and Taoist imagery, horrifying creatures, and 7 beings that are practically immortal. This, as well as the other people sent to the island, all stand in Gabimaru's way. Hell's Paradise certainly is one of the most interesting locations that I've ever seen for an anime. Watching as the characters slowly unravel the mysteries of the island was thrilling. It helps that Mappa showcase the island in such horrific detail. There is no censorship in this anime as far as I'm aware, other than some nipples being removed here and there. That means that all of the gore, of which there is a lot, is shown in such high detail, which was really lovely to see. Especially as it elevated the already high stakes of the anime, as there was never anything left up to the imagination, so you always knew how horribly a character had died, because characters do die a lot in this anime. This is one of those stories where no one is safe and anyone could die at any second. This gives the anime a lot of tension, as any battle of any kind could lead to a character's death. This is certainly a show where you shouldn't get too attached to anyone. However, that's also my biggest issue with Hell's Paradise. I think that the anime can be a little too trigger happy when it comes to killing off its characters. This isn't an issue exclusive to Hell's Paradise, but there's always been an argument of diminishing returns when it comes to shows like this. The first time a major character is killed, it's legitimately shocking, and that's true here in Hell's Paradise too. The first major death in this anime is genuinely one of the most shocking deaths I've ever seen in anything. But the more you kill off characters, the more that shock factor wears off. And again, that's true for Hell's Paradise. The deaths lose their impact because you're expecting someone to die, and certain characters are just very clearly not going to make it. It's an issue worsened by the fact that this anime likes to do the stereotypical anime thing, where right before a character dies, you get their entire backstory and history. So every now and then, a character will start talking about their life and dreams, and you can almost see the giant red X painted over them as they do this. My other problem with the anime killing off its characters so frequently is that it sometimes leads to a feeling of wasted potential. Some of the characters that die in this first season were characters that I think could have been legitimately great had their deaths been postponed. Not only would it have given the characters more time to develop, something that a lot of them needed due to their limited screen time as a result of this anime jumping between different characters a lot, but it would have also made their notable deaths more impactful. The other issue is that just like shows like The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, where any character could die at any second, there are also clearly some characters that are definitely safe, at least for the time being. For example, they're not going to kill off either Gabimaru or Sagiri in this first season. I could totally see them dying later on in the anime, but they are obviously not going to be the first on the chopping block. Whilst I'm complaining about things, I also want to say that the first 2 episodes of the anime were really boring in my opinion. They're mainly set-up episodes, with the first one getting us accustomed to the 2 main players of the anime, Gabimaru and Sagiri. Sagiri being this executioner who's looked down upon by her peers simply because she's a woman. She also lacks confidence in herself and believes that she is weak. For Gabimaru, Hell's Paradise is about him realising his humanity. For Sagiri, it's about her discovering her own strength. But anyway, the first episode only really introduces us to these 2 characters. The second one then expands the cast significantly. We get introduced to a few other executioners and the rest of the criminals that are going to be sent to the island, but that's about it. It's not until the 3rd episode, which is the one where they actually go to the island, where things really pick up in quality. This issue is a really minor one, but I still thought it was worth mentioning, as some people could drop Hell's Paradise since it doesn't start out as a banger. Whilst I wouldn't argue that it's Mappa's best, the animation in Hell's Paradise is really good. I wouldn't expect anything on Chainsaw Man's or Jujutsu Kaisen's level, but the animation on display here is great. That shouldn't come as a surprise from a studio as gifted as Mappa, but I still wanted to highlight the animation department for this anime. Plus, there wasn't much CGI in this anime, which I always view as a positive. Not saying that CGI can't be implemented into anime in a good way, just that it often doesn't look that great, and even when it does, it still looks inferior to 2D animation. Unless you're Studio Orange, obviously. And this isn't Studio Orange, it's Mappa, and for me their CGI misses more than it hits, so I'm glad there wasn't much present in this anime. Usually when it comes to these videos that I make, I would spend a lot of time talking about the characters, but I'm not going to do that here as I don't want to give you any ideas as to which characters may or may not survive the season. However, I do want to just briefly talk about how cool the blind executioner was. He's by far my favourite character in the entire series. Yeah, he's definitely the stereotypical cool blind character who can do everything that someone with functional eyes can do, yet he's somehow able to do it better. But in an anime where there are loads of characters that you think would be badass due to their character designs, it was nice to have an actually badass looking character who could back up their appearance with actual skill. There's another thing here, I think the character designs for the anime are very solid. Half the cast are wearing the same outfit, yet each one is able to stand out from the other. A lot of the criminals look like they've led quite a troubled life just by their appearance. I wouldn't say that the character designs present here is on the same level of quality as anime like Bleach or JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but I do think it was of a high enough quality that it was worth mentioning. Another aspect of the anime worth mentioning is the opening and ending song. Visually, the opening to this anime is excellent. Anime openings often showcase the best the animation can be in that anime, and this is an anime opening by Mappa, so unsurprisingly it's beautiful, while still reflecting the horror of Hell's Paradise's world. It's not just the visuals in the opening that are excellent, it's the song too. The opening song for Hell's Paradise really grew on me, and by the end of the season, I loved it. It feels very unique to most anime openings that I see and listen to, and I wouldn't be surprised if you look up a top 100 anime openings of all time video on YouTube and saw it there. The ending song for this anime is wonderful too. It has the opposite vibe to the opening. The opening is all about hyping you up and illustrating the unique setting of Hell's Paradise to the viewer. The ending, on the other hand, is about slowly squeezing the tension out of you with a nice soothing song. It's the perfect episode capper to what could have been a very stressful episode as you watch the character you like get the bejesus slapped out of them. Both are good songs and I wouldn't recommend skipping them unless you have to. As much as I enjoyed this anime, I do think it's in a similar place to how I felt about Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen, where I need to see a bit more as to where the anime goes before I can really sing its praises. Fortunately, Hell's Paradise has been confirmed to get a second season, and the manga is complete, so this theoretically could be a case like Demon Slayer, where they can just keep pumping out seasons until we reach the end. I've also heard only positives about the manga, so I'm assuming that it doesn't have an awful ending. Should Mappa continue to give this anime a worthy adaptation, and the story continues with its current or an even higher level of quality, then I believe that Hell's Paradise has the potential to be an anime that gets talked about for a very long time. Hell's Paradise is an intriguing anime with a setting unlike anything else that I've personally seen in anime. Its characters, though occasionally underdeveloped, are interesting and likeable enough to follow throughout the series, especially the 2 leads of the anime. Mappa continues to show why they are arguably the best in the industry with their amazing animation talent, whilst Hell's Paradise, like its Dark Trio counterparts, needs a little more time in the oven before we can truly say how good it is. I do think that this is a brilliant anime and definitely deserving of your time. But that's just my thoughts on this anime. What about you? Have you seen Hell's Paradise? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments below and make sure to give the like and subscribe button a tap on your way down there too. Anyway, that's all I have to say for today. Bye bye.